Hi everyone, my name is Danielle Wathen and I decided to do my NGO presentation on the Agewell Foundation. The Agewell Foundation was founded in 1999 by Himanshu Rath and is based out of New Delhi, India. India's total population is about 1.252 billion, and of that, the elderly community makes up about 100 million, which is the target population for Agewell. Although it is based out of New Delhi, Agewell provides services to all of India. So unfortunately, I was unable to fully interview Mr. Rath or any of the volunteers working with Agewell, but I do feel very strongly towards the initiatives of Agewell, so I viewed many other interviews with Mr. Rath and did some extra research in hopes of getting answers to my own questions. The mission and vision statements are both aimed at ultimately creating a better life for those in the elderly community. In one interview with Mr. Rath, he stated, India is one of the few countries still looking up to their elderly community, and even their elders are feeling less and less empowered. So one of the questions I had was, in what ways does Agewell make a difference? Agewell has dedicated much effort to reach out to the elderly community of India. They have a great deal of programs in place to improve the well-being of those of higher age. The helpline for older persons is a helpline that freely allows elderly persons to call if they are lonely, depressed, or even being abused. Himanshu stated that elderly abuse is a very common thing and can stem from verbal, physical, or emotional abuse, and even spreads out into neglect. One other thing that I really liked that they were doing was the medical equipment distribution camps. Through this, they go out to different locations and they distribute medical equipment such as walkers and canes and, just things that the elderly community needs to keep getting along. Another thing that they do is share the warmth, and that's in the winter months for people who have excess blankets and jackets and stuff like that. They can donate it to Agewell, and Agewell will distribute it to some of the older communities. Another question I had was the major issues and illnesses being faced. The major illnesses and issues are those associated with aging, such as weakened immune systems, weaker bodies, and loss of basic abilities. So while Agewell tends to these needs, a lot of the focus is put towards emotional and mental health. All too often, old age is associated with a sense of worthlessness. And in India, people are considered to be of old age at 60, but live to about 75 to 80. So for about 15 to 20 years, while the elderly are dealing with a deteriorating body, they also are facing many emotional and mental obstacles as well. So Agewell works really closely to shed light to this common misconception and donates much of its advancements towards research on these topics. Depression is also a very large issue there, because if anyone has ever been around an older person, they know that they start to get a little upset at the fact that they can't do the same things that they were able to when they were 20. So the foundation, I was curious if it changed the lives of more than just the elderly, if they thought they did. And I'm going to refer back to the vision statement. And a part of that said to transform the social attitudes towards senior citizens. So they're indirectly, changing the attitudes of people who aren't senior citizens. So I think that that's, doing more than just their target population, but they're also helping family and friends of the elderly. We all receive a greater deal of happiness when the ones we love are happy. And then society as a whole is also changing because they're changing the social constructs, around the elderly community. So one of the questions that I really wanted to know about and unfortunately didn't get an answer to was what would happen if Agewell, an NGO foundation, received unlimited funding. As we all know, an NGO is a non-governmental, so they're not receiving any money. Most of their money comes from support and donations. But I was really curious to know if they did receive unlimited funding, what they would use it on, and here's some ideas that I was, curious if they would use it on for more research studies or equipment such as medical equipment, travel, because like I said, they tend to the entire country of India, or if they wanted to expand it, out to outlying countries near them, or, employment instead of volunteers, promotions, activities for the elderly, all types of things. So I was really upset I didn't get an answer to this, but must go on. So Agewell does have support of over 60 companies such as Tropicana and Coca-Cola, so they are receiving donations that are helping them improve. And that's my references. Thank you.